Well, breaking news coming in, the Eden Gardens pitch row has now escalated further, with regular curator Parabir Mikherjee threatening to quit from the Cricket Association of Bengal due to the ongoing differences over the nature of the pitch. Well, sources in CAB have confirmed to headlines today that the disgruntled curator Parabir has met with CAB top brass Jagmohan Dalmiya and has communicated his inability to report to work, citing health reasons. But the 83-year-old is understandably upset at being forced to work under BCCI appointed curator and his junior Ashish Bhomik, who has been made in charge of the preparations of the Eden track for the next week's third test. Well, Parabir was unwilling to prepare a rank turner as demanded by skipper Dhoni, and the BCCI and CAB forced him to play a second fiddle to East Zone Pitches Committee member Ashish Bhomik. Well, that is the big breaking news that we are getting for you right now from Eden Gardens. And joining us with inputs from Kolkata is our correspondent Manogya Loiwal. Manogya, it seems that at least one person has decided to stand up to the BCCI and to our captain Dhoni.
Well, absolutely, but that could be a hidden manner taking the issues of health grounds. But one thing is for sure, we spoke to Parabir Mikherjee. He categorically stated that he was very disheartened in the way the Cricket Association of Bengal had dealt with him by not taking him into confidence when it came to speak up and rather present his voice in front of BCCI. He said that the board did not even utter a word on what was going on between BCCI and CAB, and perhaps the differences were rising and the fissures have widened so much that he has now said that he will go on a medical leave for a month and then decide on whether he will continue or not. An official resignation has still not been tendered, but sources say that the way it has been going ahead, CAB officials may be rushed to his residence today to convince him to at least report to work, because from today, in case he doesn't report to work, the pitch will be taken care of by Ashish Bhomik, which is somehow disheartening for him and perhaps which would be for the first time happening in Eden Gardens.
Well, Manogya, what really is the official position that Parabir is actually enjoying right now? Is he still the chief curator or has Ashish Bhomik taken over already?
He continues to be the chief curator of Eden. Ashish Bhomik had come as a person appointed by the BCCI, asking to oversee the preparedness of the pitch and also to take care of the pitch. Perhaps that was one gesture from BCCI to involve their officials and also continue with the CAB officials. But this was also a stand taken by BCCI to make it very clear that BCCI was the final authority and not the CAB or the state associations. Perhaps that was made very clear with the appointment of Ashish Bhomik, a very junior, around 20 years junior to curator Parabir Mikherjee. But this had not gone down well with Parabir Mikherjee, and that was the reason why he was continuously saying in past few days that he would take a decision on 30th after the pitch is handed over to the police. Because it's for the first time that even the pitch of Eden Garden would be handed over to police 4 days before the test match.
And it's interesting rather, Manogya, that Parabir Mikherjee has spoken to the BCCI and not the CAB.
He has spoken to Cricket Association of Bengal. He had informed this in a verbal communication to Jagmohan Dalmiya. So that he went to his residence yesterday and communicated in a complete, in every possible manner that he did not want to continue. But this time he was taking a medical leave for 1 month, saying that the doctor had asked him to take rest because of his age and also because of the pressure that he was going through. But these are just excuses that are being given of the differences that have surfaced between CAB and the curator Parabir Mikherjee, who has been here in Eden Garden for more than 3 decades now. He's been the curator and he was promoted to the position of the chief curator. He has been the curator of the pitch for all the World Cups, for different matches over different years. But it's for the first time that it was not only differences, but almost a battle with lines drawn between BCCI and CAB and the curator left aside had happened in Eden.
Well, Manogya, do stay on with us. Let's recap the story, what really is breaking right here on headlines today. The Eden Gardens pitch row has escalated further and the chief curator, Parabir Mikherjee, has threatened to quit from the Cricket Association of Bengal due to the ongoing differences over the nature of the pitch. In fact, sources in the CAB have confirmed to headlines today, as Manogya was just telling us, that the disgruntled curator Parabir met with CAB top boss Jagmohan Dalmiya and had communicated his inability to report to work. Joining us right now is my colleague Aditya Ravi Shankar on a phone line. Well, Aditya, it seems that this is a reflection of how CAB has given up and has bowed down to BCCI without a fight, but there's at least one man who is standing up for what he feels is right.
Make that becomes a matter of opinion as well, because one has to sort of, look at this from the point of view of Mahendra Singh Dhoni as well. I'm not saying that he's correct, but, he is correct in the sense that he may be fair and demanding for a wicket that turns, or demanding for, advantage that a home team would expect playing a test match. So in that sense, perhaps, yes, Mahendra Singh Dhoni is justified as well. But the manner in which this entire situation has been handled, with the pitch curator being sidelined and an additional pitch curator being brought in, instead of sort of discussing what the issues might have been, instead of trying to get to a common ground, all, views it seems expressed by this person were dismissed. And this is an 89-year-old gentleman who's been with the BCCI doing this job for a long time.
Well, Aditya, sorry to interrupt you. We are also now joined by Subir Ganguly. He's the secretary of CAB, the Cricket Association of Bengal. So thank you so much for speaking to us right here on Headlines today. Sir, can you tell us what really has happened? Has he actually resigned? Is Parabir still part of CAB or not?
No, we have not received any resignation letter from Parabir Mikherjee still now. He's with us, and I believe today he also come to the Eden Garden and do his duty accordingly.
So are you saying that he has not reported sick for duty and he is going to turn up for his regular duty as sources within your CAB are in fact telling us right now?
Yes. He will definitely come today at Eden Garden. We have not received any resignation letter from Parabir Mikherjee.
Well, thank you, sir, for joining us. In fact, Parabir Mikherjee, the chief curator, the man in the eye of the storm, is in fact joining us right here on Headlines today. Sir, can you please clarify what your stance is right now? Mr. Parabir Mikherjee, if you can hear me, I'd like to ask you, sir, are you still part of CAB and are you going to report to duty as usual?
Hello?
Mr. Mikherjee, can you hear me?
What you are asking for? Hello?
Mr. Mikherjee, I was asking you if you are still part of the CAB and are you reporting for duty today as usual?
No, I'm still part of the CAB because I'm very sick. I feel sick. The doctor came and said at least 1 month leave is required to be off from this tense atmosphere. That's why I put forward my application to CAB to grant me this.
But sir, is there any possibility that you are actually quitting? You are saying that there are health issues, but does this have anything to do with Dhoni's demands?
Because I'm not liking this. This is immoral and this is not good cricket. And we are giving our life for that good cricket, and we tried our best to put up a good wicket in every day where I was working. So I can't carry this order because we are not the professionals. We love cricket. That's why we used to spend our life for this.
Well, sir, do stay on with us. Sundar Iyer, my colleague, also joins us. Sundar, over.
Sir, yes. Obviously you've mentioned of your fact that you want to call in sick, but you're upset with all that's happened in the last couple of days where you've been made to work under East Zone curator Ashish Bhaumik. Isn't this decision of calling in sick only a reflection of the fact that you do not want to work under Ashish Bhaumik? You do not want to prepare a ranked turn at the Eden Gardens for the third test? Okay, we'll try and get that line connected back with the Eden Gardens curator. Very disgruntled Parabir Mikherjee there, in confirming to us that he will not be reporting to duty at the Eden Gardens, insisting that he's not at sync with what's happening at the Eden Gardens. Remember, the BCCI appointed the East Zone Pitches Committee member Ashish Bhaumik, a much junior to Parabir, to work to supervise, in fact, Parabir's work at the Eden Gardens after Parabir refused to prepare a ranked turn on skipper Dhoni's demand, and that clearly has now snowballed into huge row because Parabir Mikherjee, the 83-year-old curator with over 3 decades of experience at the Eden Gardens, has decided to call in sick, will not be reporting for duty at the Eden Gardens for the big third test that's coming up next Wednesday. So clearly the pitch row has now escalated into a whole
Right.
new high. Parabir Mikherjee has threatened to quit. He says he's still part of the Cricket Association of Bengal, but what we've gathered is that he met Jagmohan Dalmiya last night and communicated his unwillingness to be involved in the preparations of the track for that Eden Test match, saying that he's sick. Even while speaking to my colleague Meghna a little while ago, Prabir confirmed that he's calling in sick because
Absolutely,
he's not
Sundar.
in sync with all that's happened in the last few days.
Well, Sundar, we just heard Parabir Mikherjee come out and say that it's just because he's unwell, then he wants to get away from the stressful situation. Do you really buy that? Do you think it's just because of his health? Or is it because of this entire escalating row that he's decided to stay away from the Eden pitch?
Well, Meghna, as you heard, Prabir, that he did mention that he is not well and he's been advised a month's rest. But he also specified the fact that his health has taken a toll because of what's happened in the last couple of days. Clearly, for someone of the age of 83, he's been around there for 3 decades, and he's certainly unhappy with all that's happened. We've got, in fact, my colleague Vikrant Gupta, the sports editor of Aaj joining us on the phone line. Vikrant, Prabir, they're clearly spelling out to us in that conversation that he's been unhappy with all that's happened between the BCCI and the CAB, where he's been forced to work under Ashish Bhaumik. And that's one reason why he's calling in sick. Clearly disgruntled and unhappy, he's now using the other way out. Vikrant, if you can hear me clearly, Prabir is disgruntled and upset with all that's happened, and hence he's now seeking out, citing health reasons. I guess we're having trouble connecting that phone line with Vikrant. We'll have him back on the line very soon. But we've got Nikhil Chopra, in fact, former Indian cricketer, on the phone line with us. Nikhil, huge development there coming in from the Eden Gardens. Parabir Mikherjee calling in sick, seeking out from the Eden Gardens, insisting that he's unhappy with all that's happened the last couple of days. Well, we'll try and get more reactions on this big breaking story at this stage. The Eden Gardens curator Parabir Mikherjee has threatened to quit. He's calling in sick. He's refused to report to duty at the Eden Gardens, refusing to work under Ashish Bhaumik, the BCCI appointed curator and the member of the East Zone Pitches Committee. Clearly, this pitch row surrounding the Eden has now escalated further, and it's a slap on the face of the BCCI and the CAB from the 83-year-old Parabir Mikherjee, one with over 3 decades of experience, Meghna. He's unwilling to bow down to the pressure tactics of the board.
Well, he made it very clear when he said, I am not liking this. Parabir Mikherjee has decided to stay away from the third test, and he says that he's not going to be the one making the pitch, preparing the pitch. Nikhil Chopra is now joining us, former Indian cricketer. Nikhil, what do you make of this entire row? Parabir Mikherjee now says that he wants to stay away because his health is not permitting. However, he has also mentioned that health is deteriorating due to this rising tension.
Well, I guess, a couple of days ago, on the one of our sports shows in the evening, we were talking to Dada, and Dada played all his cricket there at the Eden Gardens, and he says, no matter what happens, Prabir's got his own mind. He's very, strong-headed. The kind of track that he wants to give, he will give. He doesn't want to listen to anybody. And we heard in the paper also that JB saying that they do not want to take a chance, whereas if the situation comes to, the Eden Gardens might get banned as a test center, what happened to them a couple of years ago. But preparing a turning track, nobody gets banned until unless the wicket is dangerous. And I don't think the Eden Gardens would ever be a dangerous wicket. Like we saw during the IPL also, that the ball used to turn, it used to be slow, and it never came onto the bat. But now this is more like an ego issue, whereas the Indian captain wanting a track that turns or assists spinners a little bit. But on the other hand, the CAB curator saying, well, I'm going to go out there and prepare a good batting surface. For the first 3 days, it'll be a good batting track. And the last 2 days, the ball would start turning. So, it's more like an ego issue than anything else. You don't have to make a turning track that would end up being dangerous.
Nikhil, very right there. I mean, you're right when you're mentioning that this is all about bruised egos, and understandably, Prabir Mukherjee, who did come out the other evening and said that he would like to work with Ashish Bhaumik. He's his boss now. But clearly, the bruised egos are now finally having its word, and not many would find fault with what Prabir Mukherjee is doing, seeking out from preparing that track for the Eden Gardens, citing health reasons now.
Well, surprisingly, from a couple of days prior to the test match, health issues all of a sudden arise. Well, even if you give benefit of the doubt, the track is more or less 70 to 80% already prepared. It is not that the track before the test match gets prepared, 5-6 days before. It takes quite some time. I'm sure they must have watered it. I was reading in the newspaper as well when Daljeet Singh was there. They rolled the wicket and they put a little bit of water on the surface as well. So 70 to 80% of the surface would have been made, but obviously Prabir had his own plans, how he wanted to go about about the wicket. He probably wanted to water it a little further and then roll it so that the wicket stays bound together at least for the first 3 days.
Right.
And if you remember when Dada was there doing commentary in Ahmedabad, he said 10 days prior to the first day of the test match, the first test match, there was no water given. So, it was a pretty dry wicket, and I don't think that's going to happen at the Eden Gardens.
Well, certainly, we'll have to wait and see how that Eden Gardens track plays. Ashish Bhaumik has been given the responsibility, ahead of Prabir Mukherjee, to prepare a rank turner as per skipper Dhoni's demand. But Nikhil Chopra, many thanks for joining us here this morning and giving us your insights on the big breaking story at this hour. Meghna, clearly ego playing its part there as Prabir Mukherjee refuses to bow down to the pressure tactics of the BCCI and the Cricket Association of Bengal. He's now seeking out, citing health reasons, refusing to report to duty at the Eden Gardens now.